guess it's on.
It's on.
Think they can hear us?
They can hear us.
All right, good.
Hey, what's up, guys? Today on Auto Joe, we have a special episode here. This is actually my dad, Auto Dad.
Auto Dad.
His name's Rich, and we're going to be driving his 2016 Nissan Frontier SV King Cab. So tell us a little bit about this truck, Dad.
Well, I was looking for a truck to use around the house, carry things to the dump, etc. I wanted four-wheel drive. I've been sticker shock over the prices of the new trucks. I'm not looking for a $1,000 a month payment. I was looking for something around $400 a month. And this one, I saw it had 78,000 miles on it, and it just fit the bill. I looked up the stats because I knew nothing about the Frontier. Because I would say, hey, I want a Tacoma. Everyone has a Tacoma. They're like belly buttons, I guess. But I found that this one with the 4-liter engine, 5-speed automatic, 4-wheel drive, it's just rock solid.
Yeah.
Very reliable. And you get it at a discounted price. So that was why I chose it.
Right, and so this one we have today, of course, the Nissan Frontier of 2016 came with two engine options. We have the 4-cylinder, and then of course we have the V6, which is a 4-liter V6, quite large for a V6, 261 horsepower, 281 pound-feet of torque, and of course 4-wheel drive.
4-wheel drive. On demand.
Yeah.
Yeah. If it were snowing, we could probably take it 4-wheel drive or something. We could go 4-wheeling.
I mean, honestly, if we had the rear-wheel drive one, we could do some Tokyo drift
that might be
style
fun.
Action shots.
I am looking to do some drifting in the future. I like the drink holder. It can hold my big cup. Did I tell you that? Yeah. This is not an advertisement, but this holds my big cup.
Yeah, your Stanley Cup.
Very important.
Yeah, it's an endorsement, guys. So speaking of practicality, we have a 6-foot truck bed. And some of you know I recently drove that 2025 Honda Ridgeline, which had the 5.5-foot bed. And the other significant part of that is it's just not quite deep. It's a very shallow bed because they have, payload can be stored under there. But, with this truck bed, it's quite large, especially for the size of the truck with the short cab.
I think another thing you could talk about too is all of these Nissans, when they were built, the coating on the bed is all done at the factory, so there's no holidays, no skip marks. In addition, they have aluminum rails they built into each side and the bed that come standard with the truck for tie downs, and with a whole rail system, so you can hold quite a bit and you can secure your load.
Yeah, and there's no reason to go to Linex and get one of their aftermarket bed coatings because you have one right from the factory.
That's right.
Which I was actually recently looking at, some brand new F-150s, just kind of browsing the dealership, and you'd be surprised how many are covered in just paint. Like it's just stock paint.
I love the F-150. I think it's a beautiful truck. I think it's way more comfortable than this.
Fair.
But what's not comfortable is the payment. So.
Yep. No, definitely not.
Yeah. This truck to me is a bit of a compromise, but I can live with it.
Yeah, and we do have a pretty soft suspension tuning going on, but where I think this truck falls short is that body on frame structure just inherently is a little more rough and rugged, especially over the larger bumps.
I know, but the purpose of that is to have the payload and towing capacity. So this truck can tow 6,100 pounds. That is a lot.
Especially with the 4,400 pound curb weight.
Exactly. Not only that, but you could put 1,400 pounds in the bed.
Yeah.
So you couldn't really do that with a unibody, because before you know it, it would just flex and break, and then you've got a messy car going on.
Yeah, but I think where this truck falls short in terms of storage is actually these back seats.
That is not a back seat. It's a jump seat. It's a place for my tool bag, I think.
Yeah, maybe a grandchild.
No grandchildren, because a baby seat cannot fit back there. Maybe a 10-year-old grandchild could fit back there. There are seat belts. There are anchors for a child seat, but if you do have a child seat back there, you're not going to have a passenger. And if you can pull it off, great. But what I've seen, it is not working out. So I think one of the positives of the car is the torque. The engine doesn't work very hard to get to speed. Though the fuel economy is not impressive, I would say it's pretty much on par with what most of my buddies see with most of my buddies see with trucks this size, it's like 18 miles to the gallon.
Yep, 18 city. We got it's 16 city, 22 highway, and 18 combined.
Right.
Yeah, and so of course we don't have Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. We're a bit far out from that in terms of Nissan products, but we have Bluetooth, correct?
We have Bluetooth, and we can connect our phone for what is it, an aux attachment? So it recognizes an iPod. You can use all your phone functionality, with the exception of apps, which can be distracting anyway.
Do we have a USB port?
We've got no USBs in this car. Actually, we do have one, and it's in the glove box, and that is actually powering the aux input. And it does a great job of charging the phone as well.
Good. Yeah, so that's just as much as you need.
Right.
I will say our Apple CarPlay and Android Auto are very, very convenient features, especially when they're wireless. You just keep your phone and your keys in your pocket. You can get in with keyless entry, push button start, which we don't have here also. So, I mean, you're going to take your key out to start this thing, so you might as well take your phone out, plug it in. You'll get in the habit of that, of course.
Right.
And if you don't, you can always buy an aftermarket system.
That's right. I was thinking of putting a new head unit in here to just make this thing really boom inside with some bass.
Yeah.
The sound system is okay. I think once I got used to it, I was impressed with the performance. But, I'm used to a little more... I'm used to more creature comforts. I have a 2017 Highlander that is a wonderful vehicle. So the reason this interior light's coming on is because you haven't shut that side door hard enough.
Oh.
Yep, I told you about it.
So when we pull over and we switch seats, and you're starting to drive, I'll shut
I'm going to slam it. Yeah. I'm going to slam it hard because when I first bought the car, the interior light kept blipping on, and I said, "Hey, there's something wrong with this door." When I lean on it, lean on your door a little bit, the light comes on, and I'm just like, "What is going on?" I complained to the dealer, and he said, "Hey, Mr. Isabel, the door wasn't closed tight enough." I'm like, "Okay, let me do it harder." So that solved that problem.
What I find funny about this transmission, to change subjects here, is it actually doesn't have the ability to shift itself, but you do have, for you to manually shift it, but we do have 3 stages, 1, 2, and 3. I'm guessing those are more of like your low gears, right?
Right. Yeah, and I don't find occasion to manually shift the truck. I think it does a great job on its own.
Yeah.
And I didn't buy it to race across the desert. I didn't buy it to pull heavy equipment.
You're not going to do any Baja jumps with this?
No Baja jumps with it. I think I could do a Baja jump, but it's not really for me. Maybe in a few years when it's going to be handed down to someone else, they can do all those crazy things to it. The red shock absorbers and whatnot.
Yeah.
Right.
And so practicality-wise, we do have these front windows here, but do the back ones go down?
The back ones do not open.
But we do have that
the rear slider.
Window.
That's right. And a fun fact, when you have a pickup truck and you have things in the back, I was worried about things flying around, in the back when I'm driving down the highway. It turns out, if you open this window, things will really fly around on the bed of the truck. If you leave the window closed, It's got a nice little cavity in there to just
keep air out.
Keep everything out, and it keeps the things in your truck bed from flying out into traffic behind you.
Alternatively, you could have a kid hang their arm out the window and hold things in place back there.
That's right.
Not that we legally endorse that, but it's a possibility.
No. But I can tell you in my youth, I spent many a day in the back of my dad's pickup truck under the cap, going to the drive-in, things like that. It was definitely not safe. Just glad we're here to talk today because we lived through it.
Yeah, and I mean, if you didn't live, then I'm not born, and then we don't have this YouTube channel.
Yep.
So how could we talk to the people?
We couldn't. And the people would just be like, where are they? Where are those 2 dads? Where's the dad with the blue shirts?
And the son who kind of looks like him.
Kind of. Yep. So let's take a right here, and then I'll take you to a better spot to drive. Maybe we'll find some dirt roads. That might be fun. We'll do a little drifting. Want to do some drifting?
Let's give it some gas out of here.
All right. Whoa. Light up the tires a little bit. Nice.
Yeah. Took a minute to kind of get going there, but once that power came on and the V6 revved up, I really felt like there was some high-end power there.
Yeah, I think we could drag race some Tacomas. We should go Tacoma hunting.
Yeah, I think so.
That's a good idea. So I was watching, can you say another YouTuber's name?
Of course you can.
So I was watching Scotty Kilmer And I love Scotty. I love Scotty. He actually came on and big fan of this truck for the same reasons that I pointed out. Because it's a great value. You're going to pay about $4,000 less than you would at a comparable Tacoma. I mean, it's just as good for all intent and purposes, right? We're going to use it to drive back and forth to work. The fuel economy is not fantastic, but to be honest, I'm not going to drive that far in a pickup truck.
Right.
You know? It is back and forth to work. It's to the dump. It's for me.
And it's almost a good, it's a good local truck, right? It's not going to eat up highway miles. It could do it, and it would drive smooth.
We had it on the highway this morning. I was cruising at 80. I took a couple 3-hour trips this week to the coast. It was fantastic. I don't think the brakes are as responsive as I'd like them to be.
Yeah, they're a little soft. The brake pedal is a little soft.
But one thing about a pickup truck and with all that torque is it always feels as though it picks up really quick.
Yeah.
And I think they call it a pickup truck not because of what you can pick up with it, but how quickly it accelerates. That's why they call it a pickup truck.
Not who you could pick up with it. And so I did make a comment earlier when we were driving to that lot about the steering being light, and that was really at low speeds, chugging along a parking lot and coming out of your driveway. But on the going 40 miles an hour, like at speed, it just kind of feels normal to me. It's tight. You feel where your wheels are placed and where they're moving in the direction you want to be. So it's not necessarily vague. I think just at low speeds, you kind of have to give it a little more effort to get to where you want to be.
Exactly. And I feel that the turning radius isn't as tight as I'd like it to be.
Yeah.
From what I understand, it is not as tight as a Tacoma.
Right.
And it's noticeable backing out of spots, getting in places, and with the wheelbase being as long as it is, it's not like a car, so you really have to watch the curbs in the back.
Yeah. But I will put up some stats to compare it to modern trucks. Even just walking around this thing, I can tell it's not as large as, an modern F-150 or Ram 1500, because I just feel like trucks these days, I don't know, you might agree with me on this, they just keep getting bigger and bigger.
Yeah. They're bigger and bigger, and they've got smaller and smaller turbocharged engines.
Yep.
And they're more complex. And when one little bit breaks, before you know it, you're at the dealership going, what happened?
Yeah. And I know many Nissan cars are pretty familiar with their dealers, right? They spend all their life there. But I will say that, so far, I mean, this thing has 80,000 miles on it, running quite smooth.
Well, I have to say, of all the Nissans out there, I've heard that this is the most reliable Nissan, or one of the most reliable Nissans you can buy. We don't have a CVT in here.
Right.
We don't have any, high-tech engine. Right now, this is the 4-liter. I believe in 2020, the body style stayed the same, but they went to a 3.8 with direct injection. And, that engine's been out since 2020. I haven't heard anything bad about it, but there's definitely some benefits to having an engine that's used year after year.
Yeah. So I'm going to pull over because I'd love to hear your driving.
All right, why don't you pull over in this spot right here. Another fun fact about this truck, you can wear a full-size cowboy hat in this cab. So I wish I had my hat with me. I think we could go back maybe on the next car. Next time we do a truck, we'll wear our hats.
I think I have about 3 inches of head clearance, and my seat's not all the way down, so that's not too bad.
Right. So this does have tire pressure monitors. It does have backup. What is the backup radar? Is that what that is? Or
yeah, parking sensors essentially is what they're called in modern terms.
Yeah.
And so it'll beep when you get close to something, just like my Mach-E, for instance.
Yeah. I know there's also a few buttons down here to turn off traction control.
You have heated seats.
Dual heated seats. Again, on-demand four-wheel drive. I did put it in four-wheel drive to make sure it worked. I tried it in four-wheel drive low. I'd like to do that again sometime, but we'll see. Maybe if I want to pull a stump out. But other than that.
Yeah. We also have two 12-volt outlets down here, which is nice. Of course, yeah, heated seats. We have the ability to turn that rear parking sensor off. We don't have one in the front. That's usually something you'll see in more modern cars, but I am impressed to see a rear parking sensor in a 2016 Nissan product, especially.
You know, I think Nissan does a great job with the options they stack in. You know, think along the lines of Hyundai. I think Hyundai and Kia took it further.
Yeah.
When they just pack a bunch of stuff in there, and they give you options that you would normally not see at that price point. But Nissan, I think they started the trend because they were there first, right?
Yeah. And so what do you think about these seats as someone who, you know, sometimes has some back issues going on?
So I have to say the seats, and I test drove an F-150. I found the seats much more comfortable, especially in the bolstering under my legs. But, you know, they're not bad. We do some longer trips. I don't get out, you know, sore.
Yeah, and there's strict manual adjustments. We don't have any electronic abilities in these seats. They are just a standard cloth seat, but I actually think they look good.
Yeah, they're pretty decent. I mean, they've had practice. They've been making this truck since 2005.
Yeah.
In the same body. You know, think of the Toyota 4Runner with the 4-liter engine. They've had that 4-liter engine in that 4Runner, God, at least 10 years.
Right.
And it is the most reliable engine that Toyota makes, is that 4-liter V6.
Yeah.
And I'm sorry, we're talking about the 4Runner, right? That's also that's been a 5-speed automatic for a very long time.
Yeah.
Much like this. So I think comparatively speaking, the 4Runners are a frame-on cab, a cab-on-frame. This is a cab-on-frame. They both have 4-liter engines and both have 5-speed automatic transmissions. Fun facts.
So what was really the deciding factor between the two? Was it more personally just the deal you got on this specific one?
So for me, it was 100% driven by price. My situation is that I have a motorcycle and I have a second vehicle. I wanted a reliable second vehicle. What I really wanted is a new primary vehicle because my primary, the Highlander, is starting to get a little long in the tooth.
Yeah.
So I wanted to get something that's going to be reliable, lower miles, that I can get through with. This was a reasonable payment at the time. I wanted to make, I wanted to put my funds in other places. Putting them all in a vehicle didn't make sense to me.
Right. Yeah, and you're still getting a fairly new vehicle with just above 80,000 miles.
That's it. And if history is any indicator, I'm hoping to get around 180 to 200,000 miles. And for the price point, hard to beat.
Yeah.
Hard to beat with anything else.
Sandwich is good on that side.
Oh, what does this say? You've got an alert.
Storage full. Yeah, so the one thing I did want to talk about this truck is I love the color, right? It's this dark, deep blue. It's got these like iridescent little flakes in it too when you see it in the light. And for a paint that, you know, was developed and put on the car in 2016, it's quite impressive how it's held up over time.
Holding up surprisingly well, along with the interior. I believe the previous owner probably had a dog, based on the short hairs I've seen in the seats that I've had to vacuum out. But all in all, it was a non-smoking car. It's got decent storage, and it's not going to break the bank.
And interior quality is great too. I will say you have hard plastics throughout the cabin.
Oh yeah.
Right? But nothing feels cheap to the touch. I mean, it's definitely a Nissan product. It's definitely a eco truck. But I will say, you know, there's nothing broken in here. There's no window switches that need to be replaced. Basically, the interior has held up to, you know, through 9 years.
Right. And that's what I was looking for. Again, I saw the truck. I was thinking about getting a vehicle. My primary, the vehicle I was driving was ready to be thrown away. And I just didn't know what type of commitment I wanted to make on a car payment. So this used vehicle popped up, came into my sight, and it was from a reputable dealer I had purchased from before. I showed up and made the decision here. And I said, here, take this old Honda that doesn't run very well, and give me some money off on that truck. And that's what they did.
And so, Dad, is there anything that you feel could be improved on as far as like the driving dynamics of this truck?
Absolutely. So the suspension in the front feels a little stiff, feels hard. You know, it's a truck, it bounces hard. I find when it hits bumps on the highway, or even maybe a manhole cover in the street,
yeah,
you know, it bangs. It bangs a bit. I'm used to, you know, a bit more compliant ride.
Yeah, softer sprung ride in the Highlander you have.
This is definitely a stiff ride, and you can tell that it can, you know, what's the payload? 1,400 pounds you can put in the bed of this truck.
Yeah.
So you've got to be sprung for that type of weight.
Right. And as far as other options, do we have cruise control in here?
Cruise control, not radar cruise control, which would be my preference.
Yeah.
But it does have cruise control. It works just fine. What else? Intermittent wipers. I've got controls on the steering wheel for the telephone, for the Bluetooth, and for the cruise control.
And we do have a powered mirror too, which is great. You don't have one of those you have to flip up and down to...
So I think they call it an auto-dimming mirror.
Yeah.
And in there you can see there's a compass display and the external temperature. So it's currently 87 degrees.
And I actually do like these little convex inserts they have on the mirrors too. It gives you an extra view of your blind spots.
So important when you're backing up because you don't know what's under those back wheels. That's a big plus. Plus you can adjust both mirrors remotely from here.
Yeah. And we do have a backup camera in here because of course it was mandatory starting in 2013 in the United States. But the backup camera, in my opinion, is actually kind of useless unless you're looking directly below and underneath the edge of that bed.
Not to mention the screen's the size of a PS2.
Yes.
Yeah, it's got PS2 infotainment screen.
Or like a Nintendo DS.
Yeah, what is that, 5 inches, 4 inches?
Yeah. But you do have good overall visibility. It's a nice greenhouse in here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the AC works amazing.
Yeah, keeping us cool on this hot summer day, even up here in New England.
Yeah, absolutely.
Awesome. Well, any final thoughts you have on this Nissan Frontier?
If you're looking for a vehicle that's going to just be it's going to be good utility for the average homeowner, that's not going to break the bank, and if you're not you don't define yourself by the vehicle you drive, then this might be the truck for you.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for your time, Dad, and for sharing this truck with the channel.
Well, thanks for the review, and I get to spend time with you, which is even better.
Yeah, awesome. Well, thank you all for watching. Please like and subscribe, and we'll see you all next time on Auto Joe.
Joe.
Bye.
Bye.